sides of poorly installed James Hardie siding. So it looks so easy to install siding. It's like, oh, you just put it up, you stack it up, you put it up, it's great, done. No. So there are so many things that go into installation of siding, and the problems may necessarily manifest themselves right at the start. So like, there's a nailing hem on James Hardie siding, and they nail it up through that nailing hem that's usually at the top piece of the siding, and then the next piece stacks on top of it and hides that nailing hem. So it's protected from the elements and you don't see the nail heads. So what happens is, if they have the pressure too high up on the nail gun, the nail will fire right through that nailing hem and it will barely catch. It won't hold very much. You know, it's like if you put a nail into drywall and you nail in too far and it's just barely holding the drywall up, and you know, oh, eventually that's not gonna hold it up. Well, except that now they take another piece of siding and they hide that, and that another piece of siding's got some weight on it, so it holds it back. And so it's like, oh, good enough. Except that it isn't, because your house contracts and expands over a year. It, you know, over a day it will. You know, you're in the shade in the morning, you're in the sun in the afternoon, you're back in the shade in the evening. Your house contracts and expands. Your wood walls, your wood frame walls move. You know, there's a reason why you go into people's homes and this cabinet door doesn't shut right now because the house is swollen, or, you know, different things like that. And so what'll happen is, when the siding's first installed, it'll look great. The homeowner will be like, it's beautiful, we love it, fantastic, here's your money. And then 2 or 3 years later, this piece of siding's bubbled out away from your house because the nail that was holding it in now has broke loose from the concrete siding and nail fin, and the weight isn't heavy enough on the piece above it to stop it from bowing out. And then maybe your house contracted and expanded and pulled it through and da-da-da. So there's all that, except now most companies subcontract your labor, so you got a 1-year warranty on the labor, and then you're paying somebody to come out. And then it's not as easy as it sounds, because they stacked all those other pieces of siding on top of it. They got to get down to this one to fix it. So it's not just like one piece of siding. It's, you know, I'm residing 1/3 of the house or that type of thing. So it's very important that you have certified installers install your siding. And, you know, everybody says, oh, I'm certified. Yeah, well, let's see the certification. So with us, we have certified Hardie installers. And it's important because with James Hardie's warranty, if they're not, there's no warranty. And so, and that's a very important part of it. But there's, how you can tell it is, when it first is put up, they hide everything with paint and all that, so you don't see it. It usually takes a couple years. So it's very important that you deal with a reputable company that is known to stand behind their products, because we all have made mistakes. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's the ones that fix it, that stand, you know, that'll stand behind it, that you want to deal with. One last thing, when you put James Hardie siding up, it's concrete. And if you bend concrete too much, it cracks. So you can only flex it so much. So there's a lot of things that go into the prep to install it properly that some companies do or don't do. Whereas with us, we do everything we can from the start to prep it right so that we have no problems in the installation process.